to Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us today. Moderating today are the lovely Shirley and the lovely I Am Her Eminence. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much for joining us today. We are here 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday. Our website is located at arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com, and that's where you can find all of our stuff. You can find links to all of our free courses, free booklets, free lectures, free guided meditations, etc. arielscorner.com. While you're on that website, you can notice on the header and footer of every page, we have links to all of our social media, including our private Facebook group and our Discord server. And we'd love to have you join our community if you would like to in one of those places or both of those places. We also have a chat thread on this stream right now, so please chat amongst yourselves. And if you happen to have any questions for me, you can put them right in that chat thread and I'll get right back to you today. If I run out of time, because I do have to work, if I run out of time and I can't get to your question, please bring them onto either the Discord server or the Facebook group so that they can be answered there. If you'd like to donate to our stream, you can do that by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga. If you're on YouTube, you could use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks if you feel like giving a donation. Or on our website, on the footer of every page, there is a donate button. And if you go there, you could use a credit card or debit card or other kinds of things like Apple Pay. So there's all kinds of ways to contribute financially to our channel should you desire to do that, and we do appreciate your support. We also have a shop, and that's located at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com, where you can get all kinds of cool t-shirts, beanies. We've got coffee mugs. In fact, I think am I drinking out of one? Yes, I'm drinking out of the Raven coffee mug even as we speak, and this is nice strong coffee, so I should be I should be okay today. Okay, enough drinking on drinking coffee live. We don't need to be doing that. I can have that after. What else was I going to tell you? We have oh yeah, well, on Thursdays is Thrilling Thursdays. That's usually some sort of magic theory type lecture. And then Fridays, we have a three full rounds of the Witch's Rosary. On Saturday, we work a psalm spell live. And on Sunday, we have some sort of lecture, but it's usually more inspirational in nature. And that's on Sunday. And then Wednesday, we usually have some sort of witchy stuff. I've been working a lot lately with color magic and talismanic magic, and we'll probably continue that for a little while because there's a lot of stuff I still want to cover. All right, let's get going on today. So this is going to be this is a Jupiter talisman that I whipped up, and I took the time to do all of the line art off camera so we don't go over, and we can focus a little bit more on the coloring aspect of it. Let's see, what do we have here, just so you know. We have a double circle, just like a normal star talisman. And then on the outside here, we have the god name for Jupiter, and that's L, E-L. And then separating each of the L, we have a crown, and that's one of Jupiter's symbols. If those of you that have ever worked the ritual of the hours will recognize that. And then surrounding this diamond here, we have on the top 2 iterations of the Bethor, or the Olympic spirit for Jupiter. And then on the bottom part of that diamond, we have the spirit of Jupiter here, and then we have the intelligence of Jupiter there. Oh, sorry, there. Hello. Then we've got the signature of Jupiter 4 times that is surrounding this kamea, and then in the corner we have the seal of Jupiter, and then in the center of this diamond we have the actual kamea, or the magic square of Jupiter. So there's a lot of Jupiter, a lot of Sakiel going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to color this using color magic principles, and then we will sign the kamea, and I'm going to sign it all viewers, and that way you can if you want to be in this talisman, you can think about what you want rather than me doing one petition for everybody. You can have your own petition, and you can make that petition mentally or verbally. And then if you don't want to be in it, you just don't be in it. Think of it as, like a radio broadcast. It's broadcasting to you, but if you don't tune your channel on your radio, you won't get it. Or if you turn your radio off, you won't get it. So you don't have to. It's not like we're forcing this on you. It's just there for you if you desire it, since you are one of the all viewers that we will sign it with. All right, so I've made a little color chart. For the most part, we're using analogous / almost monochromatic purple or blue violets here. And then we're going to use a couple little maybe contrasting yellows there to get going. All right, let's start out with the, I'm going to, I think, start out with a light lavender, which is really a gray. It's like they call it a warm gray. I disagree. It's more of a lavender gray here. So I'm just going to color over everything. Now I've just used, to do the line art, I've just used a plain old Papermate Flare. And I love these for when I'm working with alcohol markers, because you can see that usually, now it's not always the case, there's been, depending on the colors and stuff like that, there have been times when it hasn't worked, but usually I can put that alcohol ink right on top of that line art with that Papermate Flare pen, and I don't have any trouble whatsoever. So I'm just going to start out with a nice coat of this sort of grayish lavender. And then we will go from there. We're going to blend light to dark, focusing mostly on value rather than different colors, since we're going fairly analogous, close to monochromatic here. Now, as that dries, that should get a little bit lighter. It's darker than I was thinking it was going to be, but it should get a little bit lighter. It's not bad. I don't mind it. Let's see. I think, in fact, I'm just going to do it with everything except for the Kamea. The Kamea, I'm going to have the background be a light yellow, just so that it pops. But the rest of this, I just want it to be samey. Because we always work with a bunch of different colors from, different groups. And I thought it'd be nice to go a little more monochromatic / oh, is that good? Yeah. Analogous today. Analogous means that you were just sitting on the same, everything's adjacent to the main color on the color wheel. So blue, violet, blue, and violet are all analogous to each other. This monochromatic means that it's all staying within the same family. And that's more of what's happening here, really. There is a little blue violet and there is a little violet, but mostly it's just the blue, violet, and blue. So it is analogous technically, but it's a little bit monochromatic, which is the whole idea today. Now, I don't want to get this on the inner square here, because I am going to have one little pop of color in the background on that square. And of course, we're thinking while we're coloring of what we're doing. Now, if you have a specific goal in mind, you can do that. But since I'm doing this for everybody, I'm just thinking of the qualities of Jupiter. Jupiter's qualities of truth, mercy, prosperity, abundance, makes good where there was bad, makes everything all good again. Okay, so now we've had a little pass with just this sort of lavender gray. I'm going to put that to the side. Try to keep these in order the best I can. Now let's just go ahead and I'm going to, oh, we didn't do this one. Let's do this one. Let's do this diamond too. I just want everything in this gray except for this square. Just because I said so. Because it's my talisman. I can do what I want with my talisman. Just because I want to play with monochromatic, and then when we have that monochromatic look, that yellow should pop a little bit better. But we'll see. It's all theory until you do it, right? Regardless, since we're working angelic magic, the angels don't require us to do anything. The reason why this is helpful is for us, because it puts our focus on the qualities. The angels don't need anything from us. They don't need talismans. They don't need anything but our willingness. And so working a talisman like this is a type of demonstration of willingness to be helped. Okay, so I'm going to take this palest yellow, this yellow 00. This is probably too pale, but when you're working light to dark, it's okay, especially with these alcohol markers, because you can always add a little bit more color. But if you're working dark to light and you go too dark, you're kind of done, because these are alcohol markers are not like paints in that they are transparent. And so when you've got too dark of a color, putting a light color on top of it will maybe bleach it out a bit, but it won't get rid of it. So it's safer to go from light to dark when you're working with alcohol markers. It's not that it's the only way to do it. A lot of people are really good at going, see, this is running a little bit. So this particular color seems to make that run, but that's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. I think I might just put a little bit of this other yellow on top of it, this yellow 3, which is a tiny bit more, a little bit darker, not too much. But I don't know if you can see that flare pen is actually running on this from that previous marker, which does happen. That's okay, because we're going to go over all of that line art again. So all will be well. Okay. I think we'll leave that for the time being and get going on some of these other things. Let's take our next light color, this V22. And I think for the V22, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around in each of these sections, this like that, right over that line art. And then I'm going to go back with that gray that we just used and sort of blend that out a little bit. See how that looks. It's a little, I'm wondering if I want to just use this on these center sections as my light. And that's V22. That is V22. Let's try that. I think I'm going to like this better. I like the gray on the outside, but I'm not sure I want it here. So let's just use this as our light color. And then we'll go one darker like we were doing before. See how that goes. Okay, and then we'll go back over that with our light color. That's V22. Those are so similar. I'm not sure that really did what I wanted it to do. So let's go one darker here. Let's try this V38. It's still kind of samey. Let's really go for it here. Let's try this V412. This might be too much, but we'll try it. There, I think that's better. I like it better. Okay. Then we're going to take this light violet here and kind of blend that out a bit. Go back over this. I like it. That's good. And then I can go over that line art with paint pen later. Let's use these two colors. I think I like it. So I've got my light color here. I'm just blending two colors on these because there's not that much space. I'm just going to use this light color all the way through. Now you could, blend around the figure if you wanted to, especially if you weren't going to go over it. But since we're going to go over it with a paint pen, I don't see that that's really all that necessary. And I'm just getting this dark around this container. And then I'm going to use this light color to kind of clean up those edges a bit. And then I'm going to go again. That's why I wanted to do that line art off camera so that we weren't going so long. Oops. Let's do the light first, Ariel. If you're not careful and you accidentally put that dark color down, you are just done. It's done. There's no going back. And I don't want to do that. You can still make it work. It's not like it's the end of the world because it's a talisman. And like I said, the angels are still going to work on your behalf. But if you want to, work your color magic as accurately as possible and you're using alcohol markers, just be aware if you go dark accidentally, if you pick up the wrong pen, it's sort of done. There's no undoing that. You can use the colorless blender or light pens to sort of bleach it out a bit, and sometimes it can be okay, but usually it's, well, you've seen, I've had many of those mistakes on these streams before. You just deal with it. I'm going to go over this one more time. So with these markers, the rule of thumb is that you just start with if you're blending like I am, start with your light color, and then you lay down your darker color, and then you go back over it with your light color to soften the edges a bit. And if you really, if you're doing like coloring for art, and you really want it perfect, you keep going back and forth and back and forth. But for these demonstrations, I like that it can be pretty quick. I don't have to have it all perfect. It still looks nice, and you still get the color magic going. And remember, the basics of color magic is getting color down on paper, not necessarily making perfect art. But if you make great art on top of that, yay, that's fine too. Remember, most of everything we do with color magic, especially, is going to be tossed. It's not with the exception of a few talismans that you might keep permanently. Most of these things are just going to get thrown away. So it's not really about having permanent artworks. Okay, now that's a nice little thing. Let's do this one more time. Oh, look what I just did. See, at least I went over it with the light. So it bleached it out, so I can fix that. But if I'd gone over it with the wrong color in the wrong space with the dark, it would have been bad. And you know what? That's okay. Here we go. I think I got it. There. Nice. All right. Now, let's see what we want to do in here. In this panel here, let's start off with this one. We'll go a little bit deeper, I think. This is the V34. I don't even have V34 on my... Not funny. I brought it, but I didn't... It might be a bit dark. I think I'm going to go back to this V22 as the base. And then from there we'll go. May end up only using a few colors. I just brought a bunch out just in case. But you know, we don't have to. And we could be using different contrasting colors on each of these panels too, which would make for some very interesting looking color magic. But I wanted to do everything in the same basic shades, same basic color family, and then maybe some different shades, but not go crazy with the contrast for a change. That first coat you don't have to worry too much about. Okay, so we're going to keep that out because I'll go back over that. Let's try this. Maybe 46. Where is that? That's this one. I'm not sure that we're going to see that big of a difference. I think it's pretty much the same. It's a little more muted maybe than the other one I used on this other panel. I don't know. Still purple. Still a nice purple. Let's do... Let's do a lot of purple here. This isn't smearing the... This one doesn't seem to be smearing the flare pen, which is nice. Thanks for that. I don't mind it. It's kind of cute. Totes adorbs, as we might say. Okay, let's do something different on this inner diamond. Let's do maybe a little darker yellow here. I didn't bring any real dark yellows. I only brought these super light ones, so... We do have a bit of a contrast, because that's opposite on the color wheel of the blue-violet, right? But it's so light that it shouldn't overpower anything. Now, these yellows don't really show up until they dry a bit too, so we have to be patient. Okay. Now, if I cared, I might go through and fix some of these blends, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal. There's my B22. Oh, here it is. I mean, I guess I could. If I wanted to fix that up a bit. Remember, you also get a little darker color up to a point when you layer, especially if you layer on it after it's dried a wee bit. So that'll darken that up a little teeny bit. I could probably, instead of this gray on the outside, I could maybe either go with another light lavender or a light yellow. I think this is okay though. I kind of like it just kind of open like that. It kind of is what it is. Just getting color down on the paper. We want all kinds of purples and blues for the Jupiter energy of life. That'll work. I'm not in love with that color I chose, but that's okay. All right, so now let's see. What do I want to do with you? I think let's just do it this way. Just keep it monochromatic. Sometimes I do borders and blend on this outside, but I don't think I will because I want to paint over some of these symbols. I don't want us to run out of time. And then we also have to do our kamea, but I need this to dry a wee bit before we do the kamea. Alcohol markers do dry pretty fast, though. Thanks to the alcohol. But see how fast that is? I mean, we got a bunch of color down there, and we got a talisman done. Only took us a few minutes. All right, now all viewers is 133. Do I want to go over this more? I think we're okay. It is a little bit smeared. I'm just using a Unibalsino here, just a regular gel pen to do the sigil. I don't think we really need all of that, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay. So 133 is all. So we have this, and then I'm just using this little straight edge here. So 1 and 3. Then I'm just using a little hump for the second 3. 1, 3, 3. Then we've got 4. Probably should be doing this in a lighter color because nobody's ever going to be able to read that. But you know what? I can do it with this and then go over it with paint. Let's do that. 4, 9. And 3 5s. 1, 2. And then 9, 1. And 1 back to the start of here. We'll go right to the side of this. And then do our little perpendicular line. All right, let's get a couple paint pens here. I think the white paint pen might be the best idea. I got some with the smaller nibs. I'm not sure how small these nibs are. We're going to try. Let's see. See, that's pretty big. I'm not sure about that. Let me just use something else. Hold on. I'm not sure this is going to show up, but we're going to try it. I've got this little white gel pen here. It doesn't matter if it doesn't. We've got this. You know what? I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to do it with this big again. Let's go over it. This will be fine. Oops. Except for scratching it. Okay. Now, let's take that paint pen we were talking about earlier and go over these signatures maybe. Why not? Still a bit big. I wish they would make these really small. This is the smallest nib I could find, and it's still really big. But I don't mind it. Remember, nobody's going to see it except for you. Well, everybody's going to see it for me because it's being broadcast, but for you, you don't have to worry about it. Okay. And then as it dries, it's showing the blue underneath it, which is kind of cool. I'm being so messy. Sorry, Sakiel, that I'm being so messy. He doesn't care. It's very messy. I'm not sure this was the best idea. But now that we're committed, we're going with it. Not my favorite choice. That looks very messy, but that doesn't matter because it's still pretty magical. All right, so I put everybody's name in here. We've got everything we need. So now all I have to do is cut it out. We'll put some fragrance on it. We'll burn a candle and think about what Jupiter gifts you desire. Think about all that Jupiter brings you. Sakiel. We've got financial stuff. We've got forgiveness. We've got mercy. We've got turnarounds. Things that were bad become good. If you have any legal issues that you want to turn out in your favor, it's definitely a good thing for Sakiel. What else do we have? Truth. Anytime you want the truth to be known to yourself or to others, to be revealed. So if somebody's being deceptive, Sakiel is going to be a great angel to call upon for that. I'm going to just put this right on top here. I've got lilac, lila. Oh, that wasn't very smart. 3. Ooh, that smells very strong. Okay, now I've got a candle here. Stick it right on top of that kamea. And you can say a mental or verbal prayer to Sakiel. You can, whatever you need to feel the presence of that purple angel that is there to bring you all the wealth, the forgiveness, the turnarounds, the truth, the justice, whatever it is that you need from that sphere. All right, let's see if we have any questions. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Will the kameas be ineffective if not created with the harmonics? Keep procrastinating. No, it's not ineffective. Don't think like that. Don't think like, oh, unless I have every little thing, it's not effective. No. What you put into it is what you put into it. Now, if you're using harmonics, that's one more thing. Then you're adding one more way of aligning. But if you're not using harmonics, then they're not in effect. You didn't activate it because that was not part of your intention. If you're just using black ink and paper, don't worry about it because you're not using color. That's not a part of it. If you're, whatever you decide to use is what's important. So when we make the kamea here, we're making it so that it fits in the center of this particular talisman. So it can't be perfect. It can't be a perfect harmonic necessarily. I keep procrastinating on buying a ruler. Well, you can find them pretty inexpensive at the, just like at the 10-cent store. They're not that expensive, but that's funny. Is this a talisman you can make during any moon phase? Yeah. Now, normally what we would do is if you were making the talisman for a banishing, if you're trying to get rid of something, you would make it during the waning moon, and then you'd rip it up right away. If you were doing it for something that you needed that was new, or that you wanted to bring into your life, or you wanted to expand, you'd do it during the waxing moon, and then you would leave it. You'd keep it till the following new moon. Since I'm doing this as demonstrations, I don't really consider the moon phases here today. So just like we said, if you're not going to use harmonics, then don't worry about them. Similar for us today, since we're not using the moon phases, don't worry about them. But for you, it might be a better idea, if you're making this for yourself, to consider the moon phases. I wonder what Ariel thinks about I don't know what that is. Ophiuchus. I don't know what Ophiuchus is. I'm sorry. I'll have to look it up. I'd just like to watch you do them. Is this okay for now while I'm new? Yeah, no, you don't have to make your own. That's why I put your name in there. All viewers, so you can just kind of get into it. You can just say, yes, please, and accept it. Absolutely. All right. Well, that's fun. And see, I like to make these talismans with you because you can see that it doesn't have to be all gorgeous all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if you're just playing. You're playing with your pens, you're playing with your crayons, you're playing with your ruler, right? So I've got, I've taken some time to do a bunch of these for each angel that has all of those different symbols. And I'll probably just release them as a download so that you can print them out in gray or black, and then you can use them either to color in or to draw over if you don't want to be able to create them from scratch yourself. So I will get to those sometime within the next week or so, I think. They're almost all finished. I just need to release them. All right. Well, thank you so much for being... Oh, the 13th zodiac sign, Ariel. Oh, I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. I don't follow a lot of the stuff that's popular. I'm not up on anything new. I just know what I know. So I do remember hearing something about that. I do remember hearing something about that. All right. Thank you so very much for everything. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators. Today we had the lovely Shirley, and the lovely I Am Her Eminence, and the lovely Dre. And we will see everybody tomorrow for Thrilling Thursday. Until next time, blessed be.